What is up, guys? It's the NJB here, and today I'm going to be talking about why I do not like to play as a rebellion in Star Wars Battlefront 2. So, I don't know if it's just me, but personally, when I see that I'm the rebels, I honestly just would rather back out and probably try and play another game where I'm pretty much any other faction but rebels, or possibly the resistance either, because basically they look the same. They're basically the same group of people, just like, a little more in the future. So, yeah. So I'm gonna get right into it. I guess the main reason I don't want to be like the rebels or resistance, I guess now, because they've just been added in, is because they just don't look that cool to me when I'm like playing the game. I mean, you can see right here in this gameplay, I'm playing as a shadow trooper or a death trooper. Not a shadow trooper, but I'm playing as a death trooper, and honestly, one of the main reasons I'm using him is because, of course, he is like a better trooper class. He does have more health, and he has some pretty decent abilities, I guess. But he looks pretty awesome, and it was really cool seeing him in Rogue One because the Death Troopers look pretty cool to me, and it's kind of cool like just playing as them in a game because Star Wars games, it's really like, I don't know about everyone else, but to me, it's really about kind of like experiencing what we've seen in the movies, like in a video game, and kind of being able to play as like those characters. And in my opinion, like when you play as the rebels, it just doesn't really feel like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as cool because I guess the rebels, they aren't suited up like in cool like looking body armor, and they don't have like a full body suits, and they just don't have kind of like that sci-fi cool awesome looking armor that the others, like some other factions, have. I mean, just think about when you saw like stormtroopers, or maybe if you're newer, clone troopers for the first time. For me, it was the clone troopers. So I guess when you see these guys in action, you just see like, wow, these guys are all cool. They're all in cool armor. They're all soldiers going out to battle, and they have like, they're just cool to watch. Just like the whole theme of them just being identical looking soldiers, and yeah, clones I guess are identical. I mean, just all of that, just looking at them, it just really looks cool to watch. And even if the droids, I wouldn't say I wasn't as impressed with the droids, but I guess they are still pretty cool, especially the commander droids, which I'd hope that we'd see in a game. I mean, that was really cool just looking at them, and I kind of want to play like as them in the video games because it just looks cool, like seeing everyone just running into battle as stormtroopers or clone troopers, and just like experiencing like kind of like a Star Wars scene like in the game, because that is why lots of people would get the game. I mean, if this game wasn't a Star Wars game, trust me, it wouldn't sell. So it could just be me, but that is kind of like why I like playing these Star Wars games and why I've always liked Star Wars Battlefront games. Now, when you see Rebels going into battle, and when you saw Rebels on screen for the first time, they don't really look that impressive. I mean, they're just dressed like, for the most part, like normal soldiers. They do have those big pieces of metal on their head that always looks weird, but for the most part, they look like normal soldiers, and they don't really look too impressive to look at. So I guess that's kind of like one factor or main reason why I just never really wanted to play as rebels. They don't suck or anything. I wouldn't really say they're bad in Star Wars, but they're just not as cool to play with in game. So that's kind of my opinions on it. So that is basically my reasons. It is really just a visual thing. I don't really have anything against Rebels. Also, another thing I kind of would rather play as Star Wars is I'd rather always play as the bad guys, because I feel like in pretty much all the Battlefront games, the bad guys have always had like the cooler characters, and I'd still rather play as like Darth Maul, Darth Vader, and pretty much like in original Battlefront, I still rather play as the villains more than the heroes, just because I feel like the villains just had like more like kind of like diverse group of characters, and kind of like characters with cooler abilities. Like in the original one, you had General Grievous, you had like Boba and Jango Fett, and I guess Boba and Jango Fett's power, I mean not powers, abilities, like weapons, they're pretty similar, but also different at the same time. You actually have to go back and play to be like to know what it was like, and also the heroes just had like, I don't know, just cooler characters. I mean, I don't know how like better to describe it, but it's just, I guess it could just be a personal thing. Um, and that's basically that. I feel like in this game, because they don't have a lot of focus on the new trilogy, I mean, like, not necessarily new, I mean like the prequel trilogy, because they don't have a lot of focus on that, it really limits how many like cool characters they can have from like on the hero side, and that's kind of a real downside. But either way, that's my opinions. For the most part, I'd rather play as pretty much any other faction other than the Rebels, and I guess the Resistance as well, because they basically look the same to me. So that's gonna be it for the video. Tell me what you guys think. I kind of want to know what if anyone else feels the same way. If you felt that way and you kind of made those choices in the original Battlefront games, then please let me know. I kind of want to know. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed. This has been the NJB, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers, mates.
Accessing briefing room databank. Attempting download from the briefing room. This download is too slow. Briefing room remains vulnerable. Downloading from the command center. I can feel your anger. It makes you strong. We have hope. We have elite ally landing. Assist is required. My ally is forced. Unidentified rebel commander on site. Skywalker standing by. I will always survive. Signal from command. We have an elite operative on site. New squad leader arriving. Fall in. All downloads complete. Enough intelligence to keep the analysts busy for years. The Death Star failed to claim victory on Yavin, but our brigade is superior.